And so the first one is this one, which is Memoirs by David Rockefeller, 2002 book, and quite a chunk, 532 pages. But if we scroll down on this Amazon page here, we can get a bit of an insight into this family. So David Rockefeller was the youngest child of John D. Rockefeller Jr., who was one of the richest men in the United States. He graduated from Harvard College, and he studied at the London School of Economics. Now, if you've been following any of my videos, you will know that the London School of Economics was founded by Fabian socialists, and who were very close to Bertrand Russell. So in the read through of the Bertrand Russell book that we have on this channel, the playlist there, we did talk a little bit about the London School of Economics, and we did look into its history and its origin. So the whole Fabian socialist movement, who is still active to this day, is a key part of this puzzle, because they believed in gradualism. They believed in slow, gradual change. They had two symbols. One was the wolf in sheep's clothing, and the other one was the tortoise or the turtle, because they're looking decades and decades ahead to realize their plans. And this is what we're up against. We're up against schemes and plans that go back and shoot out into the future 50, 100 years. That's how far ahead these plans are looking to go. So we got to think on a bigger, longer time frame than just, our monthly payday cycle that we're on at the minute, or just a countdown to Christmas every year. We got to think more generationally, and this will help us protect and preserve freedom for ourselves and future generations. This is how it's done, because this is what they're doing, and it all starts in these kind of organizations such as the London School of Economics. So it's good to know that David Rockefeller went there. It tells us as well that his service as an intelligence officer in North Africa and France brought him into contact with many of the individuals who would soon dominate European politics. So he's kind of rubbing shoulders and getting to know the people who run the politics here in Europe. So internationalist much? During his 87 years, David Rockefeller has worked with every US president since Eisenhower, at times serving as an unofficial emissary on high-level missions. So what does that sound like? Unofficial emissary. That sounds like a secret agent. That sounds like a James Bond type of character, to me at least. High-level missions? Missions on behalf of who? Who's giving him these missions? Is somebody sending him a mission that's going to self-destruct in 5 seconds? Is it a kind of Mission Impossible Tom Cruise kind of scenario, but in real life? So that phrase was curious. And that's not just a phrase that somebody's written on Amazon. That is actually on the inside of the book cover, which I have right here, and I'll show you in a minute. But also he's logged approximately 5 million miles while circling the globe dozens of times. And you can bet, I'm betting at least, that we're probably going to find out that the Rockefellers are really concerned about the environment, and they want to invest lots of money to save the environment because of climate change and all this pollution and all this global warming that's happening because we're flying around too much, yet he is clocking in 5 million miles. But that's just a guess. I don't know yet. I'm not sure if they're front and center when it comes to climate change or that particular scam. He was involved in the building of the World Trade Center. Very interesting. And this is the first time a Rockefeller has ever told his own story. And then he's called a financier, a philanthropist, and the ultimate ambassador. Sounds like a professional wrestling name. But I do have a copy of this book. So let's go over quickly here to the book cam. Here it is. This is my copy of David Rockefeller Memoirs. And I was really happy when I got this one because it was, I don't know, it was a reasonable price. But when I opened it up, I found that it has this little, and this is stuck on. This is a little piece of paper stuck on, but it's actually signed. And so I actually have signed testimony from the man himself, David Rockefeller, which I thought was cool. But yeah, you can tell that he's probably just signed a bunch of these cards here, and then they've been stuck into the books. So I don't actually know if it counts as a sort of first edition signed copy. I don't know if that pushed up the value or not. But anyway, nice little artifact on the inside. And one of the reasons that this book is extremely well known and often talked about and infamous is because of a particular quote, which I have marked up here. So if we go straight in to page, this is page 404. This is chapter 27, Proud Internationalist. So the chapter tells you a lot about it. He is a proud internationalist. What kind of people are international? What kind of things are internationalists interested in? Well, strengthening connections, breaking down borders, rolling out systems which encompass the whole of the earth and manage the whole population of the earth, whether that's financially, whether that's food, culture. This is the kind of real globalist effort to make everyone into a homogenous grey blob of nothingness. And it's the kind of thinking and the kind of internationalism and globalism is why borders are not respected and looked after and protected in many cases, and why there's Coca-Cola, Starbucks and Pepsi all over the planet wherever you go. And these corporations, which are multinational and often have a bigger GDP than countries, are allowed to operate. And this is the kind of thinking and the kind of guy who pushes that and makes it a reality. So he's a proud internationalist. But the quote we want to get on the record here, the very important one, and I'll zoom in a little bit so you can read that, hopefully. We got populist paranoia. And he says, right at the top there, hang on, that's totally out of focus, isn't it? Let's try that again. Okay. He says, for more than a century, ideological extremists at either end of the political spectrum have seized upon well-publicized incidents, such as my encounter with Castro, to attack the Rockefeller family for the inordinate influence they claim we wield over American political and economic institutions. Some even believe we are part of a secret cabal working against the best interests of the United States, characterizing my family and me as internationalists, and of conspiring with others around the world to build a more integrated global political and economic structure. One world, if you will. If that's the charge, I stand guilty, and I am proud of it. So there you are, a signed confession, testimony from the man himself, David Rockefeller, that he is an internationalist, and he's proud of it, and he's part of a secret cabal working to bring in a one world government.